Hi everybody, this is Howard the Teaser King coming to you. This is Las Vegas, there for Thanksgiving. You can hear me, I got a cold. It was very cold there in the 30s. I know you probably get the cold from somebody sneezing on you or shaking somebody's hand who just sneezed on themselves or something, but yeah, that's what happened. And then it was really cold there in the 30s, and it just killed me. So I'm still trying to recover. I just laid in bed Friday night and Saturday in the afternoon, and then I flew home Saturday night. Spent most of the time in Caesars, met some real nice people, talked football. I'd like to say hello to my friends from Vancouver. You're great people. It was really nice to meet you, and if I made you money giving you 5 locks. Anyway, I just want to talk about it. One thing that I do on my site that I just want to make everybody aware of, it's pretty interactive and it's pretty live. I'll be watching the games and I'll add a bet an hour before the game or sometimes 10 minutes before the game, which is what happened on Saturday, and I'd like to explain that. What's going on is I'm watching Michigan Ohio State and I'm sick and I'm lying in my bed and basically watching the game. Ohio State's blowing them out, so I'm feeling pretty happy because that was the big lock, Ohio State, Carolina. So I'm finishing up at Ohio State. And what happens is, so they flash to Michigan State. I get ready for this one. It's about 15 minutes. I think it's kicking off at 12:38 in Vegas. It's about 12:20. Ohio State's just finishing kicking Michigan's ass. And I see Connor Cook throwing the ball, and I go, he looks like he's going to play. Now, the spread started at 11, and I wasn't going to take Michigan State with the backup quarterback, laying 11, even cutting him to 5 in the teaser against Penn State. I'm confident they're going to win, but I figure it's going to be a close game with the backup. And then the spread drops to 7 Friday night. So I bet it small on my site. And I put it with Arizona. I want to put it with the lock. I know Michigan State, their coach, they're going to come in. They just beat Ohio State. There's no way they're losing to Penn State. But with the backup, they're probably going to run the ball 100 times. And it'll probably be a close game, but they're going to win it. So now I see Cook warming up. And the coach talked to him, and he's like, yep, I'm playing. And I shoot up and put on some clothes, run to the sports book at the hotel I was staying at, and pound 25 unit Michigan State, Arizona. Give it to me. And I put Michigan State in a 3-team teaser, and I put them with Minnesota Vikings. And it was like whoever I could think of just pound it. I almost played it straight, which was very unusual for me. I just said 7.5. There's no way they're not winning this game by 14 or more. So I pounded them pretty heavy. I would have locked them on the site, but it was 10 minutes before kickoff, and I didn't know what to do. So I was hoping people saw Michigan State. They know I like to play Michigan State. I live in Michigan. I follow them a lot. And in this type of game, I really wanted to pound it. And some of the people some clients are like, why didn't you take him against Ohio State? And I go, well, Cook was out and Ohio State at home. But now I was trying to win all their money back, going, here we go. Michigan State, here's your lock right back. But I don't like to put a lock out 10 minutes before game because people bet a lot on the locks. The locks have been very, very successful the whole year. And I know that I had 5 locks out, so I didn't really want to, piss anybody off. So I did double the bet in the site. It was 700 or 800. I made it 1,500, I believe, maybe 17. I don't know. It was like I knew State was going to win. So I think I was going to put it in another teaser, but instead I just doubled the teaser, and I said, okay, Michigan State for 7 with Arizona, we'll make them 15 or 17 or whatever. So you just got to understand when you buy. I try to be very interactive. If I see Connor Cook playing, it's a fortune for us. It's a lot. We're going to, boom, bet this game hard. So that's what I'm looking for. When I was a kid, excuse me, when I was a kid, I would notice where I would get a handicapper, and I'd pay him, and I'd get a letter, and it would come out Thursday. Here's our games, and he'd rank them 90, 70, 50. There was no units, there's no dollar amounts, there's no teasers. It's take West Virginia, take Pittsburgh, take North Carolina, take the Vikings, and he'd rank them 60, 70, 75. And I just used them. I had my own systems, but I liked hearing the second opinion. Oh, yeah, we both like Minnesota Vikings. Okay, I'll bet him. He likes Temple. I don't like him. I'm not going to play him. And that's kind of what I used him for. Not really. I didn't really buy his picks. Although I did make a lot of money on his one. He came up with Florida State over Oklahoma with Billy Sims at Oklahoma. And I was getting 7. I teased it to 13. And the reason I did it, he put a 95 next to that. He had never put a 95 on anything. And it was back when I didn't know who Florida State was. It was before Deion Sanders. I think Ron Simmons was the defensive tackle, and they had a great defense, and they blocked the punt. And I think Oklahoma won 17-10, but I had 13 or 14 points, and I won a huge bet with it, and that's really what got me going. But that's what I like to do. So just keep in mind it's interactive. You know, like I'm in the Eastern time zone. So I know my friends in Vancouver would be noon, but when I'm 3:30, when the 3:30 games are coming, don't check my site every 5 minutes, but come on in at about 3:20. And if you're looking for a pick that might be different from the morning, and I don't mean I changed it, but all of a sudden here's a new pick. I've added Michigan State and Arizona, which maybe I had, but maybe I changed it. Maybe it's stronger. Connor Cook's playing. Let's bet more, people. So keep that in mind. You know, look about 10 minutes before the game. Usually it wouldn't be that close, but because I'm in bed, and had I been at Caesars where I should have been, I probably wouldn't have noticed because I'd have been so intent watching the other 5 games that were on, I wouldn't have noticed it. But because I was in bed, then they switched to it, and I'm looking, it's Michigan State, and there's Connor Cook throwing. I caught it, and so I bet it hard. And like I said, I ran the sports book at that time, so you got to understand, I'm making bets 10 minutes before the game also. So you've got to keep that in mind. So all I'm trying to do is trying to help. I'm trying to make us money, and that's what I'm trying to do. Some mistakes I made there. I bet really hard the Ohio State-Carolina teaser like I had on the site. I did a 3-teamer, Carolina, Ohio State, and Tulsa. I did a couple of 2-teamers, Tulsa, Ohio State, Tulsa, Minnesota. But what I forgot to do was I kept betting these little 4-team teasers. I like the odds. I see them on the card. I can get Ohio State and 8 on the card, and that's ties win, and it's Ohio State plus 8 good until kickoff. I can't bet it enough, but I'm betting it in 5-team teasers, 16 teasers. So I end up with, 6, 17 teasers for 2 units, for 3 units, and before I know it, I got like 10 games, and I got UCLA in 5 of them. I got Minnesota and the Gophers in 5 of them. What am I doing? I don't want these small teams. I want Ohio State in 5. I want Michigan State in 5. I want Tulsa in 5. So what happened is I had a lot on Sunday with Tampa Bay and Miami and these 4 and 5-team teasers. I usually what I do is I wait and I just do a Sunday teaser. So I did a bunch of Sunday teasers, and it was like, give me Arizona, give me Minnesota, and then give me Tampa and Miami. Give me Tampa and Oakland. Give me Tampa or give me Miami. And I ended up with like 10 teasers with Miami and Tampa, and I'm like, and I looked Sunday and I was all excited because Arizona scores a touchdown and wins the lock. Minnesota easily won the lock. And I only had 1 Minnesota-Arizona teaser. I had played them in a 5-team teaser. I played all locks in a 5-teamer. So I had Carolina, Tulsa, Ohio State, Minnesota, and Arizona. So these 5 I played in lock. I played them in a lock, and so I had 1. Then I played like a 6-team lock with it because the odds were better, and I kind of got fooled by the odds. And I put in Tampa Bay in one of them, and I put I put Florida in one of them, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? So you get caught up in the moment there. You go and you bet, yeah, it's a, 3 units, give me a 5-team teaser, because you start seeing the odds on the card. And you see a 5-to-1, you go, yeah, I want to get, for another 2 teams, I can get 11-to-1. So then you bet a 7-team teaser throwing junk teams in. Not that they were junk, I mean, I bet Tampa, I liked them, but, some of them I bet like a 5 unit and I had Tampa in there. I was getting really pissed. And then my strategy was to build, right, just like I told you on the video. So I had Carolina with Ohio State, winner. Carolina with Tulsa, Ohio State, winner. And then the idea was Sunday comes and I'm going to pound all the winnings into Arizona, Minnesota lock. I only had it one time. I had it in the 5-team teaser, but I didn't play like a 20-unit Arizona, Minnesota, because on Saturday night I got a stack of pro sheets like this. I'm going, okay, I don't need to bet the Arizona, but I didn't bet the 2-team teaser. I didn't put enough Arizona, Minnesota money. So the only big one I won it on was the 5-team lock teaser. So my point is, don't get too carried away with these. Yeah, the 5-teamer's nice if you hit them, and you should play them, but keep track of it and just play it once. Don't play UCLA 6 times and Minnesota 6 times if they're not the locks. I mean, you're playing against USC and Wisconsin, USC, UCLA, anything can happen. Florida State, Florida, you want to play it once. You want to take the dog for 3 units. If they lose, okay. You don't want it to kill you. That's what I did. So between Tampa and Miami and UCLA, I killed myself with all the small garbage. I should have only played those maybe once, maybe twice. Okay, and then I played my 15-team teaser, my 11-team teaser. For $10 I can win 1,000. Okay, that's fine. I don't care about losing there because I got to find them 15 teams. But what I'm learning here, and with the lesson I want to teach, is stick to 2-team teasers hard. That's where your money's at, the 2-team teaser. The less teams, even though your odds aren't as good, you're going to win them if you can find your locks and you can find your strong plays. Like Michigan State. Well, if I knew Cook was playing the whole time, and they were laying 7 the whole time, that would have been the biggest lock on the board. There was no way they were losing after beating Ohio State at home to Penn State. There's no way. It was impossible. But without Cook and at 11, I couldn't play it. I'm certainly not going to lock it. I think I played it once on a 15-team teaser. But once it's 7 and Cook's playing, it was bigger than Ohio State. But I couldn't lock it. And like I said, I played it in 5 teasers. Fortunately, I did play with Arizona and Minnesota separately, but I didn't really get into. I should have played it a nice 3-team teaser, like for 20 units, Michigan State, Minnesota, Arizona. The money should be on the Arizona and the Minnesota lock, not on the Tampa Bay, the Miami, even though, because you got a bunch of small ones, there's no point to it. I didn't love Tampa. I didn't lock them. I thought they'd play a close game with Indy without Andrew Luck. The Miami Jet trend was 19-2 play the dog, which is great, but Miami still sucks. The Jets still suck. And that's the problem. Anything can happen, so you got to be careful with that. Where was my San Diego? I love San Diego as a road dog because they suck this year and they're all injured. I didn't play my favorite dog, San Diego, and then they beat Jacksonville. So that was the kind of day it was for me on Sunday. Although I did hit the lock, and I ended up winning because I did have enough on the locks, but I really killed a lot of my profit betting too many UCLA's, Minnesota's, college, Tampa Bay's. You've got to be careful what you're betting, and normally I write a list, or you see my site, and I'll try to play the team once and maybe twice if I really like it, but I got too caught up in the moment there, and I'd go up and make 4 bets. Let's see, okay, Minnesota, let's play UCLA, and then I'd play some North Carolina and Alabama over here. But again, I kept looking for 4 and 5-team teasers too many times. You play them once, you don't play them eight times, and with the same teams. As soon as one team loses, you screwed yourself. That's why you play the two-team teaser hard. 10 units. 10 unit, two teams, boom. Okay, maybe you can play Alabama, North Carolina, boom. All right, Temple, yeah, absolutely. Okay, UCLA, play it once. Yep, Minnesota, play it once. Certainly good. UCLA was a playoff game. Minnesota needed it for a bowl. Okay, no problem. That sounds good. But that Michigan State and Ohio State, and Tulsa, Carolina, you got to pound those. So the moral of the story is the strong bets, just pound it and keep them simple. Two-team teasers, maybe a three-teamer like the Michigan State, Minnesota, Arizona. That was fine to play because you had two locks to play it with. But don't dick around with the Michigan State with Tampa or Michigan State with the Dolphins. It's not what you want to do. You play your Tampa with Miami Dolphins, 3 units. There you go. There's a two-teamer. Or maybe you play them in a four-teamer with the two locks if you want to get some odds. But I'll tell you, the odds are so slim, it's really not worth it. I mean, you got to pick 5 teams, you get like 5 for 1. I mean, it's like, really? I bet 3 units and I get back maybe 15 units. Or you get back, you win 12 units. So let's say I bet a 3 unit and I hit 12 units back and I go 5 for 5. The odds don't seem right. And you're kind of chasing them. Don't get too caught up in that. Stay with the two-teamer. At William Hill, you bet the two-team college, there's no juice. Caesars and Venetian, it's 12 to 10. So that's why sometimes I lean to a 3-team teaser if I really love 3 teams. Because then it's like you get 160 for your 100. So you bet 100, you win 160 in a 3-team teaser, which still seems crazy, picking 3 winners and you're only getting 160 back, time and a half back. But anyway, please be careful when you're betting. Stick to your strength. Stick to your, keep track of what you're betting. It's fine to take a Tampa on the Jets just once and small. And that's the whole theory of Teaser King, right? You pound the locks for big money, and then you can lose. I can lose Washington State, UCLA, Minnesota, and and Clemson, and I can lose 5 games. But if I win that lock, 2 winners, 5 losers, and I'm up, because the lock is played 20 times, and the little ones are played 3 and 4 times, and that's the theory. That's why I'm successful. That's why I win every year. Is once I am good at establishing who the strong ones are, and it's a lock, it's a strong play. That's how I win, not picking around with UCLA's and Florida. There's nothing wrong with picking them, and I'm gonna make them and I'm gonna lose them. It's okay, but it's hitting the big one and pounding the big one good, and keeping track of it. Don't play the small ones too much, and definitely play the big one, especially winning the first 3. I should have really pounded that Arizona, Minnesota. And they came through for me, and got the touchdown and got the W over Frisco. It was beautiful, but the Tampa, Miami took most of the profit out of it, which is ridiculous. So anyway, one other thing. I just want to explain locks to people. My buddies from Vancouver were teasing me about locks, and basically it's just a very strong play. It's probably makes it sound good, which is what I wanted to do. I don't want to say, well, I'm hoping that Carolina beats Dallas. I want us to be strong and say, yeah, they're going to kick the shit out of them. So I don't know what else to call it, but I don't mind a lock. It's pretty much an industry term, and usually it's a 90 to 95% confidence play in my part. There's nothing that's 100, but it's a 90-95% confidence that the matchup looks good. Carolina is very good. Dallas is a weak home favorite, home dog, whatever they were at the end. I think Carolina ended up being a 1-point favorite. The line moved all over the place. I mean, I'm standing in one place. You got Dallas -1, and you walk across the street, Carolina's -1. Michigan was -1.5 most of the time, and it ended Ohio State -1.5. It's all timing. So that's why I say shop for lines, keep track of them. And, everybody's sitting there going, why is Dallas 1-point favorite? What's going on? I'm taking Dallas because, you're just sitting there going, don't overthink it. Carolina's going to kill them. Instead of laying 7, you're getting 7. Just bet it. And I kept looking at the game, and Carolina's beating them, and I kept going, all right, what am I laying 3? Am I laying 6? Does Carolina have to win by a certain point? And I'm realizing I got Carolina in 7, Carolina in 8. I'm not. They can still lose when I win, and I'm like, oh my God! It was like, I don't know, after pick 6 after pick 6. So anyway, those are the points I want to make clear to you, because if they got me, they'll get anybody. I'm usually very, very careful about that, but I got a little bit caught up in betting too many small 4 or 5 team teasers, and I should have just played them once. Here you go, 3 units, give me UCLA, Minnesota, and that's it. And if they lose, they lose. If they win, great, and pound the locks. And I don't think I had enough Ohio State because I bet them big. I bet them into 4-teamers with UCLA, but I mean, I should have had them more with Minnesota, more with Arizona. But I was thinking, let's get the early ones in, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday games, and then Sunday with all the winnings, I'm going to pound those. And I should have just looked at it in a whole like I normally do, and then just, hey, let's play Carolina. I didn't have one Carolina, except for the 5-team teaser. I didn't have a 2-teamer, Carolina, Minnesota Pro, Carolina Cardinals. Why not? I had Ohio State big with Carolina. I didn't have Ohio State big with Minnesota. I love Minnesota Vikings as much as Carolina. I knew they weren't going to lose, being the strong dogs. Anyway, so that's what happens. Always shop. You get better odds on the cards. So if you want to play a 3-team teaser, you can go to William Hill. They have the cards. But I noticed that the odds aren't as good. Like at Caesars on the card, I got Ohio State in 8. William Hill was 6.5. At Phoenician it was 6.5. But you can't play a 3-team teaser at Caesars on the card. You have to play a 4-teamer. So but then you start having to play 4-teamers, and that gets too risky. So it's probably best to try to play the 3-teamer at William Hill, but play a lot more 2-teamers and a few 4 or 5 or a 10-teamer. I played a 19-team teaser. I had 19 games. It was for $5, and I could win $2,000 or something like that. No, I think it was $3. It was 1,000 to 1. I think I played it for $3. I could have won $3,000 if all my teams that I liked won. But fine, that's how you do it. You play it for $3. Who cares? But don't play too many 4, 5, 3, 4, 5 unit 5-team teasers. Just play it once. Play your locks. Stick to your locks and your strong games. When you see a Michigan State come out with the soul of the team, the quarterback, Cook, playing, you know they're going to kill them, then you jump on. Even play it straight. I could have played it straight. I almost did, but I always would hit myself if I ever played it straight and then they didn't cover. They win by 6. I'd have killed myself. So that's what I do. So basically, just if you need a game, you just throw one of the locks in there. And God knows I can give enough locks, and God knows I'm hot enough on my locks. What am I up to, like 37-4 or something now? It's somewhere in there. It's just unbelievable. I know I had 3 locks before, 5 locks. Here's 8 locks. It's just incredible the way I'm hitting the locks, and I'm seeing them clear. Like I said, Michigan State would have been the 6th lock. Had Cook, I knew Cook was playing 3 hours earlier, and had I probably been in Michigan, I might have heard that. Probably listened to the radio and heard the pregame. But, in Vegas, at least I heard it when I heard it. But that would have been a 6 lock easily. And, anyway, and watching New England, I hope Gronk's okay. Here I get him against Philly, another blowout, and I got to worry that does he have any receivers. So I got to study if I want to take New England this week. But anyway, it was a great trip. Again, all the people I met at Caesars, it's very nice to meet you. I hope I didn't bore you with too much statistics, but I try to explain it so you understand. My real goal was to make you money. I was happy Carolina won, and you're sitting there and you hit it, and Tulsa won, and Ohio State. I mean, I won with it, but I'm happy you won with it. That's what I try to do. So anybody else I met at Caesars, hello, thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I'm here to make us all money. So anyway, have a great day. I'll be posting. I got a huge lock this week. It's just unbelievable. Very, very strong lock. I think I'm just going to lock one game. Or I'm going to lock one teaser lock. I might find another in the pro. Right now I got one college, one pro. I got another strong college going. It's an over-under. And I'm just studying the pros now. I studied the one that I'm locking, and it's there. If you buy now, you'll see the lock. But I got to study college pro right now. College is pretty much set. Should be some interesting games. I'll talk about that probably tomorrow. I need to rest, and I need to study the pros right now, but I'm just beat up, and I'm not as bad. It's just I drained into my throat, so my voice sounds funny, but I'm not as sick. I was really sick Friday and Saturday. I was sweating, and I came home Sunday in the red eye, and I just slept. I turned on the game about 1 o'clock, watched Minnesota, and then went back to sleep, and turned on the Arizona game late, and got them 19-13, and said, okay, that's good. Monday was kind of rough. Today I kind of went, had a pretty full day, and I think I'm pretty much over it once I get rid of the nasal. But I'll be doing the college tomorrow and probably the pro, because there's not a lot of college, so it gets better to actually study it. There's a lot of the Sun Belt going, and then the conference championship games. These rankings, if you leave Ohio State out of the championship, then you might not. There's no point in having it. But clearly, here's my top four, and then I'll shut up and let you guys go. Michigan State's number 1, Ohio State's number 2, Alabama's number 3, and I'm going to go with Stanford number 4. Actually, I like Baylor. If their quarterback was healthy, would be number 3, and Alabama would be number 4. Oklahoma is bullshit because they beat Baylor with their second stringer starting his first game and didn't know what to do. They beat TCU by 1 with their second stringer, and they beat Oklahoma State without their quarterback. So who did they beat? Let me see. Nobody. Their best one was beating Kansas State. I don't buy Oklahoma at all. I guarantee you they'll choke in the playoffs like they always do. They don't have a chance. Ohio State, Michigan State will beat anybody. Ohio State would beat anybody. That'd be a great championship game. That would be the true championship game. Nobody's in the Pac-12. SEC really sucks this year. I mean, look at Florida getting crushed. They couldn't even get a first down. This is the point. Why is Alabama playing Florida? And if Florida's the second best team, how good's Alabama? Who did they freaking beat? I mean, they had trouble with Auburn. They barely beat Auburn. They barely beat LSU. Neither team has a quarterback. The only team with a quarterback, Ole Miss, beat them, and yet, where's Ole Miss in the conversation? They beat Alabama. Why aren't they? Just because they lost, on a freak play to Arkansas. Ole Miss is a very tough team. Nobody has a quarterback in the SEC, but they're the greatest conference. I struggle with that. I don't know why some of these Baylor quarterbacks don't go to the SEC and pound it, but I guess they got to open it up. But I don't blame the Baylor quarterbacks and the TCU quarterbacks going there. I mean, they'd eat up Alabama. Alabama would have no chance against Baylor or TCU when they're healthy. All right, everybody. This is Howard, the Teaser King. Viva Las Vegas. I wish you all great luck, and I hope I hit this giant teaser going this weekend and pound it, make some money on it. This is 35-star teaser. The biggest teaser this year was 25, which was last week's Carolina Ohio State. This will be the biggest lock I've had this year, and I feel 99% confident that this is stronger than the Ohio State Carolina one. All right, everybody, have a great week, and I hope everybody's feeling well, and have a great time. Again, it's www.teaserking.com.